So as Ian said, this isn't an easy thing for people to come up here and sit here in front of a room of 100 and odd people. So thank you to each and every one of you. I know some people on this panel have done things with us before. Bisma in the middle there, she came down to London and spoke about her personal story in front of a room of pharmaceutical industry representatives, which wasn't easy. So hopefully this should be slightly less intimidating, Bisma. Jayne and Liam, some of you may recognise, they've done things on camera with us many times in the past. Julie and Stephen on the end there, this is their first time doing anything like this, so I promise that I'll be kind. So, yeah, as Ian said, we're going to be hearing from, he calls them clever people, so nurses, doctors, who we often refer to as experts. The people up here and you guys in the room, you're experts too, very much so, experts by lived experience. So this session is just as important, if not more important, than everything else you're going to hear today. And this is the first of two sessions, and we'll have another one after lunch. I think these guys here are the lucky ones because they're getting it over and done with. Yourselves in the middle have got to wait, I'm afraid, until this afternoon. So just some very quick introductions from me, and then I'll hand over to you guys. So start on the end there, we've got Stephen and Julie. So Julie was diagnosed with PH at a very difficult time, right at the start of the pandemic. So those very difficult times in 2020, and we'll probably talk a bit more about that. Stephen, her husband, sitting on her left. Stephen did a bungee jump for us a few years ago, didn't? Skydive. Sorry. It's not the same thing, but it's equally scary, a little bit further, yeah. Which was, a great show of support, and it was actually a retirement gift from his colleagues, which is hilarious, because I'm sure you much rather would have preferred a bottle of whiskey, maybe, Stephen, but, some good memories and some great support there. In the middle there, we've got Bisma. Bisma has been living with PH for around 5 years. Is that right? Yeah, 2018. She's here with her husband, who's in the audience. And they've come from Scunthorpe, which some of you may have heard of. And then we've got Jayne and Liam. So Jayne has been living with PH now for 11 years, which we spoke about yesterday, didn't we, on camera. Liam next to her husband, they've come from Kent. A fun fact about Liam, which he may tell you himself. He looks worried, doesn't he? Liam has a tattoo of our logo. I'm not going to tell you where. I'll leave you guessing. Some of you may know that we changed our logo a couple of years ago, and we were so worried about telling Liam, weren't we? Weren't we, Sean? But he's forgiven us. And they're up here with their dog, Dolly, which, we love dogs at the PHA, so we're always happy to see a furry face. So that's enough for me, I think. If we could just go down the table, and if you could tell us a little bit about what specialist centre you're under and a little bit about the medications you're on, just to help people understand a little bit about you, for the three of you in the middle. So start with you, Jayne, if that's okay.
So I'm under the Royal Free. I've been diagnosed 11 years. I'm on 16 hours of oxygen. I'm on IV epoprostenol, and then I'm on oral meds as well.
And how have you found the care over the years? What difference has that made to you in that time?
It's amazing. I can't fault the Royal Free. I know they're sitting here today, but I still can't fault them. I would have said that if they weren't. In fact, I've said to you before that I can't fault them. It's having a centre that knows what you're going through and that can actually treat you, as opposed to just your local hospital that really has absolutely no clue. And it's just the support that you can get from them.
I think everybody here has probably had an experience, shall we say, with a local hospital, so can identify with that. Bisma, yourself?
So I'm based in Sheffield Hospital. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Was it just a case of having to lean in a bit closer, Steve?
Can you? Yeah. So I'm under Sheffield's care, so I know Ian. And I was diagnosed in 2019.
And what treatments are you on, Bisma?
So I was on the Hickman line, but I've just come off the Hickman line because I keep getting sepsis and infections and whatnot. So I am now taking the nebulizer, and I'm also trialling the new drug.
Thank you. Yeah. And Julie, yourself, where are you receiving treatment?
I was diagnosed in 2020 during the pandemic. Fell ill very quickly. Didn't know what was wrong with me. I was dropping to sleep, and I was taken off to the Royal Derby Hospital. Blue lighted in, and I was in there a week. And towards the end of the week, this doctor came to me. He says, "You have a rare and fatal disease," and it was a real shock. And it was kinder to me after that, but it was a shock when he initially told me. And one of the younger doctors came back, and he gave me a little slip of paper, and it got PHA UK written on it. And he said, "You go and research that, because you'll get lots of information and support from this charity." He said, "Don't look at the serious stuff, just look at the information and advice. Don't Google." And that's what I did. But unfortunately, I did Google as well, which there is old information on there. You should stick with what your centre tells you, and what advice you get from PHA. I'm on sildenafil, 50 milligram 3 times a day, and 40 milligram furosemide, a diuretic. So, and I've been managing very well on that. And I have an annual review at the Sheffield Hallamshire, which I can't praise enough. They're absolutely brilliant. They've got so much time for you when you go for you're never rushed. Are you?
Yeah,
No.
no, it's true. Yeah, they're amazing. Amazing hospital.
We're very lucky, aren't we, in the UK to have the specialist centres that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, the three of you. The two people bookending this panel. Obviously, as we know, PH affects more than just the person with the diagnosis, so they live with this disease too. And Stephen, I know when Julie was diagnosed, that was a time when you weren't even able to visit, were you, when Julie was in hospital?
No, I mean, the last time I saw Julie was as the ambulance went up the road. Blue lights on it. Very frightened, very worried that, will I see Julie again? And then you rely on phone calls, and the phone calls, "I've got this heart failure, I've got this." So it became very, very much, you were sat on your own just worrying, and all you can do was just offer some words of help, support, and then the phone goes down. And then Julie would get somebody, go to see her at 3 o'clock in the morning, and "I've got this." But it was the piece of paper with the PHA UK, because obviously then I Googled the information, and the good, the bad, and the not so good. And then you have to start trying and put your feet back on the ground, and I've got to get Julie back home. Ironically, Julie came home on our wedding anniversary of my birthday, which was quite incredible that she came out of hospital on that day. And then we had to sort of sit down and take stock of everything that we'd been given, but also take a lot of advice from PHA UK, which was absolutely, the invisible arm round you is a very true statement. It was something that really got us moving forward and understanding the situation, and starting to live with PH.
Thank you. Liam, what was it like for you adapting to Jayne's diagnosis those years ago?
Easy. No, it was like hitting a brick wall. It's sort of, 1 minute you're doing your 9 to 5 job and whatnot. I was a bus driver, and Jayne was having all these tests and whatnot at a local hospital. And she would have had an appointment on the Friday, and I said, "Do you want me to come in?" She said, "No, I'll be all right." I finished my shift, and I get a phone call, "You need to come up to our local hospital now." And that's when our world just crashed. It was a kick in the guts, it really was. We had 2 kids, they were still at school, and it was trying to explain to them. It was...
No, thank you, Liam. I know, sorry, I know.
It was one of the hardest things. we had to do. But Jayne being Jayne, stubborn as she is, she said it'll be all right, you know, we do this, this and this. But it was telling the kids what would happen. And then it was the Whitsun week. She was put in to a hospital ward for a week, and our local hospital didn't know what to do. They were petrified of her. They said, oh, she was overweight, this, that, and the other. You think, hang on a minute. You got no disrespect to nurses, but you got nurses and doctors that are overweight. They don't care about it. She was put in a ward, and we had to wait a week to find a specialist hospital for her, which turned out to be the Royal Free. And we were told, don't Dr. Google. That's the worst thing you can do is Dr. Google, because it just spouts rubbish. It does. So we got underneath them, and that first journey was very, very hard to take in. We didn't know what was going to happen. We were told she's going to die. I know everybody's going to die, but you don't know how long she's got. She needs a double lung and heart transplant. You don't pick them off the shelf. And the amount of times we've been in our local hospital saying, oh, you're all right, you can have one. No. And they say she needs a heart and lung transplant. Oh, when are you going to get that? This is the medical professions. You think, if you don't know that, you shouldn't be in the medical profession. That's me. I'm waffling too much now.
No, appreciate it, and, you know, appreciate you going back to that time, and it's obviously, you know, an emotional time, so thank you.
Now you
think,
oh God, here we go again. You know, we have sort of settled into a rut, and we get on with things. Like, our kids have gone off. Boys joined the army, daughter's up in Hull University in America at the moment, and we're plodding along now. We've got used to it, and we made.
It's our normal life.
It's our normal life now. So we made amazing friends through the PH. Quite a few of you. There's a couple of you here that we know, and it needs more of these so we can all get to know each other again.
I know between you all, you've got many years of lived experience with the condition, and I imagine that you've learnt a lot during that time. You know, 11 years, 5 years. Could we talk a little bit about, you know, what's helped you? What have you found that's helped you along your journey with the condition, both as patients and as loved ones? And on that, actually, we often refer to partners as carers, and it's something that we're never quite sure how to use that word. And I know we were speaking about it, weren't we, Stephen? Speaking about that earlier, about whether you personally identify with the word carer. And could you just tell me what your response was, because it was quite interesting?
No, I don't. I'm Julie's husband, partner, through the good, the bad, whatever it is. I think from my point of view, it was trying to restore some of Julie's confidence. That was the biggest thing I recognised very quickly. I mean, Julie came out of hospital, and the first thing she did was, do you want to help me cook some food tonight? Do you want to help me do something else in the kitchen, which is quite unusual for me? And that was Julie's way of saying, I want to prepare you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Bisma, what have you learnt over the last 5 years with this illness that you think has helped you, that other people in this room might benefit from hearing about?
I think... sorry, a little quick. I think what's helped me really is family. I was very, very, very fortunate to have...
I'm sorry, I'm making everybody cry.
No. Oh, no. I was very, very fortunate to have amazing family. Like, my parents are just, brilliant. But also my husband. So I'm not going to talk too much about him because his head gets really big. But when I was diagnosed, I actually, I was a newlywed. So I just got married, and I remember, so I was a year married. And I got diagnosed. And me and my husband, we didn't actually know each other. We had an arranged marriage. And I got diagnosed. The doctor came over and said, you've got this diagnosis, blah, 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 blah. And I remember I sat there and the doctor was like, so having children, very high risk, wouldn't advise it. And I remember sitting there thinking, God, I'm only 29 at the time. So I was like, I'm only 29. I've just got married. I had this whole vision of like, oh, this is what my life is going to look like. And, I'm going to be a mum and da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden this news just hits you. And I remember I sat there and I said to my husband, I wouldn't blame you. Like, this is your ticket. This is your way out. I won't blame you. If you want to leave, leave. It's fine. That is me, to be honest. I'm a very practical, very logical person. So I was like, look, if you want to leave, I completely get it. This is not what you signed up for. And I remember he sat there and he said, I didn't marry you because you could give me children. I married you because of the person you are. And that is what I needed in that moment. Yeah. Thanks for ruining my makeup. Yeah, that's what I needed. So family. Family is a very, very, it helps me stay positive. Yeah. Because I think, yes, I could wallow and, and be depressed and whatnot, but I'm going to wake up the next day and still have pH. So I need to work around it. Yeah.
And I know one of the things that you found, Bisma, that's helped you as well is handbags. Am I right?
Oh, yes, handbags. Because I had the line, my excuse to just buy handbags all the time. Everywhere we went, I was like, oh, we don't have this colour. And he's like,
I've been to Bisma's house. I've seen some of these handbags. They are things of beauty.
Yeah.
Julie, I know we were chatting earlier, weren't we, about things that have helped you, and you were telling me about discovering movement and the gym, and how you never would have imagined being in a gym.
That's right.
I wonder how many people here have thought about exercise and the benefits of exercise and maybe felt a little bit nervous about how you even go about that with pulmonary hypertension. So would you mind sharing a little bit about your journey with that and how it's helped you?
Yeah. Well, I actually went to the GP first and got a health referral to the local community gym, and I went and signed up and took a chair-based exercise class, which I never thought I would do, because before we used to go lots of walks and fairly active, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the group atmosphere, and then I said to Stephen, because Stephen's quite fit, he's always in the gym, I think I'd like to go into the gym. So I went on the treadmill and I just walked very slowly. And I had to build it up. When I first went in, I could only do 10 minutes, and I was really breathless at a very low speed. And Stephen said, well, it's better than we did last week. Carry on. So I just kept going and built it up to 15 minutes, then 20 minutes. And I was walking at a speed really slow, below 2. Is it 2 miles an hour?
2K.
2K. And now I'm doing half an hour at 3.5 to 4, and I go twice a week to do that, and I do a few light weights on the machines with no weights on them, and it's the repetition that's helping me and improving my mobility, confidence. And on a Friday when I go, there's a gentleman next to me on the next treadmill, and he's on for 50 minutes, and he's got his oxygen tank, and he only walks. I've looked at his timing, and it's 1 point something, but he's there every week. And I asked him how many times he goes, and he said 4 times a week. And I said, well, credit due to you. And it's just a good thing to do, because my confidence was rock bottom, and I feel like it's pulling that back a little bit. I feel more flexible, and I'm really quite enjoying it.
And it helped you to enjoy your holiday in the Lake District, didn't it, recently?
Yes,
you were
it
able
did.
to do some walking.
I was, yes. We went to, was it Air Force Waterfall?
Yeah, did that.
And it's like that, going up. But what I did, Stephen said, why are you going until you get breathless? Stop. Before you get to that, he said, do 5-10 paces, stop. get your breath, and then do. And I was sort of worried about everybody overtaking me, and like, just. And he said, "Don't worry about other people. You just get your pace right, and we'll get to the top. We've got all day to do it." And it was such a reward to get to the top and see that waterfall. It was beautiful.
You did well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Brilliant. And Jayne, over a decade living with pulmonary hypertension, what have you learned over that time, do you think? What's different for you now that you wish you'd known back then?
I think at first you kind of, you have to have time to sort of grieve for the life that you've lost. But then you get used to what's the new normal.
Yeah.
And it does change you as a person. I mean, I've always been quite bolshy.
Would you agree with that, Liam? Would you use that word?
No, she's not.
But I'm more bolshy now.
No.
I'm even more bolshy now.
Oh my God, yeah.
But only because you have to be able to advocate for yourself. No one else is going to do it. If Liam's not there, then I'm in trouble. There's nobody else can do it. If I'm passed out somewhere, that's it. But I think also, I mean, the kids have grown up obviously knowing that I'm like this, haven't they? And this sounds really ridiculous, but I think it's actually done them good because it's made
them grow up,
yeah, they're very resilient.
know what to do.
Yeah, they're very resilient. They don't sort of like, take fools easily, do they?
They won't take no shit.
So have you always been very honest with them over the
Yeah.
years, right from the start?
Yeah,
That's
we
the
took them
approach
to
you
Royal
took.
Free so they could meet Jerry and Benji. We took them to Papworth when I was under Papworth. Because I always think that if they've got something in their head, it could be massive. And they're thinking, Mum's going to this place and we don't know what it is. And these things could happen because they were only 9 and 10. So we took them and then they can see it and they can meet the people. So then when we say, we're going up to the hospital, they know what it's like. They know who we're seeing. They know that it's not this big bad place. And we used to roll it in with things like trips to the zoo, didn't we, and stuff, to kind of counteract it. But I think it's just, and it's, you end up with a few friends, don't you, the ones that will stick by you.
Yeah, our friends, our close friends, sort of scattered.
Yeah, we have got a couple left.
There's only
that are very
one or
close.
two that sort of stuck by us.
Yeah.
Over the
Do you
day.
find they struggle to understand what comes with the condition?
I think that they think it's almost like a...
They're going to catch it.
No, I don't think it's that.
That's my
I think that they think, it's nothing particularly serious.
And it's part of that because to look at you, to look
Yeah.
at any of you,
We look
any of
fine,
you in this
yeah.
room, you know,
You're not ill
Yeah, we look fine, so I think that's it.
because you're up and walking and doing your normal day things. Everybody thinks, oh, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah,
That gets quite.
yeah.
That's
it
the
is.
frustration.
Yeah,
Or
it
just
is.
go for a run. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or just, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
does that sometimes work both ways in terms of, do you sometimes appreciate that you don't look ill because you know, I know that Tess and you're on the panel later, we've spoken about that before, haven't we, that it's a double-edged thing sometimes.
Well, what we get, sorry.
Sorry, no, go
What
on.
we get now is, Jane, you've been on holiday.
Yeah, well,
No, she hasn't.
I'm always
Because of the
the
meds that she's on, it makes her glow like a balloon or, like a beacon. She's not been on holiday. It'd be nice to go on holiday, but
we are.
I think it can have a lot of positives, but also negatives, because I think when you look normal, you try to then act like everybody else.
Yeah.
So the problem is when you're, like you said, when you're walking,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, come on, I can do this. I can walk the same speed as them. Why can't I catch up with them? But then what happens is the next day, you're done. You're like exhausted and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. But you are your worst enemy. You become stubborn. I know I did when I came out of hospital. I was like, no, I can still be the person I was and, I can still do everything. But actually, the only person that was hurting was me. So I had to teach myself, actually take breaks, nap when you can nap or rest when you can rest. And otherwise, no one else can look after you. Like you said, it's you.
And these are all things that you've learned over time,
Yeah.
living with the condition, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess in this room today we'll have people who are newly diagnosed, people who've lived with it for a long time, all at different stages. So, I mean, if you could give one piece of advice to people in this room, what would it be? Maybe starting over that side with you, Stephen, if that's okay.
Well, from my point of view, I do relate to the story of you try and walk too fast, you try and do what everybody else does. And the thing that's important, and the thing that I've learnt with living with PH with Julie, is the fact that, no, you do what is right for yourself. It's no good trying to gallop along and then be conscious, and then it then rolls into Julie, I'm holding people up, and no, let people walk past us on the trail, let people walk past us on the escalator, whatever it may be, if they want to go faster. But do what is right for yourself and what you can achieve, rather than expectations of somebody else. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. It's purely your personal battle with, I just want to go up. And to somebody with PH, a hill is a piece of flat land that's got a little bit of a turn up on it. And that is a huge mountain to people with PH. And I've learned that very quickly with Julie, that Julie used to walk and get out of breath and then take a lot of time to get back. But once she's hit that peak, I noticed quickly that she never actually gained that full, able to breathe and able to walk comfortable. And it was something that in the very early days of watching Julie was stop, get your breath before you're out of breath, and then walk. Shorten your steps, your strides, and little simple things that help Julie get to the top of our road, which is quite a steep hill, and it's about 50 metres. Well, that would take Julie 10, 15, 20 minutes. But you can't explain that to people like me that jog up a road and take it for granted. And suddenly that taking things for granted, it changed. And it changed like that.
Overnight.
From 1 minute enjoying this life and enjoying holidays abroad and enjoying all the other things, it was sit down and regroup and analyse what is the best for both of us. And that's when we had to start and think about doing things differently. But Julie getting back to the gym has been fantastic. The amount of confidence that, and I want to go again, which is the good thing that, well, you didn't do too much. You did just enough, and you kept within yourself, and it gave her the enthusiasm to want to go tomorrow and again and again. And it's been wonderful to see Julie's journey coming back and the confidence coming back into her. But also, from my point of view, I have to also manage that Julie's energy levels and so forth. And there's certain times where it's, let's just have a rest day today and stop and just regather, and then after that we can go again. But we can't do it every single day. And so sometimes you'll say, we'll go to the gym tomorrow, and I go to bed and I think, we'll see what happens in the morning, and don't make the expectations of, and don't set things like that you get up in the morning and I don't feel very well today and I feel a bit tired, and then it becomes a negative in Julie's life. And it's the negatives that I've had to try and eradicate from Julie's life. And it's not easy sometimes. It gets difficult and challenging, but we have to sort of stop, regroup, and then start again the day after.
So it's been about finding a balance.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Could I just check on the time, Sean? Or he's gone. Got 5 minutes left. I was really hoping that we'd have time, if anyone's got any questions that they'd like to ask of the people up here. Could I just have a show of hands if anyone has got a question, and then it'll just help me decide what to do next. Has anyone got anything they'd like to ask? Yeah. Are you okay, Steve, to come round with the microphone? This lady here with the stripy top.
Thank you. You mentioned holidays. I'm just curious as to what sort of holidays you have, how do you manage them, and do they make you feel better after you've had them?
Great question. Thank you.
That's a very good question, actually, because we used to go abroad a lot. well, now, since I've had PH, I've not wanted to get on a plane. I've been for the fitness to fly test and I got an okay to go, but it's that confidence. And I'm hoping that next year I might get to go somewhere, probably a 2-hour flight or something. But we're also hoping to go back to Paris, which is all on the trains, isn't it? And that will be a big step for me next year. But at the moment, we've been holidaying in the Lake District. And we take, because I'm also got obstructive sleep apnea, so we take the CPAP, we take a big pillow, we pack the car with all my stuff, and we holiday in this country at the moment. But as my confidence grown, I'm hoping to go further.
Jayne, you've got something planned very soon, haven't you, holiday-wise?
Yeah, we're going on a cruise. We've been before. We cruise out of Southampton. It's the easiest thing in the world. You turn up, you drive to the port, you turn up, they come and collect your suitcases. 20 minutes later, you're on board having your first drink. I would definitely, I don't know that I would fly again, even if I could, I don't know that I would.
It's the
hassle.
It's the hassle of getting all the oxygen.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to take this on the plane? Are you allowed,
But cruising is so easy. You can take all your meds, you can take everything.
Take a conscious.
And they literally fall over themselves to help you. So definitely don't think, oh, I can't do it. Definitely. I mean, we've been to France. We took the kids to Paris, didn't we, to Euro Disney on the train.
But Disney, we done the battlefields.
We did the battlefields, didn't we? And I think if you're up front as well with the travel companies and tell them what you need, then we've never had a problem, have we?
No.
Ever. But don't think that you can't travel, because you really can. I mean,
Bisma, you fly, don't you? Quite a lot, long haul.
I fly a lot. I do fly a lot, at least twice, sometimes 3 times a year. I do, yeah, and I go on long haul flights as well, 8 hours plus. Like, yeah, I've never let it limit me. I prepare everything before I go, but yeah, no, I that was one thing I was never going to compromise on. I love a holiday.
And a handbag.
And a handbag, yeah. And we're very fortunate that, we're planning to go again in September and stuff. So, but as long as you get your fit to fly, as long as you prepare everything. Yes, you get what is that machine? And, can I have a look at this? But as long as you've got all the information, I've never had an issue. But I'm also not on oxygen, so I don't know if sometimes that can limit yourself, but I've never had a problem with it. Yeah, I'm always happy. Just here's my machine, here's my line. Have a look, and you always get the odd question. Oh, is it? Oh, it's only COPD, and I'm like, it's not COPD. It's COPD one a lot. But sometimes people are just curious. The security would just be like, oh, so what is that? You just have to explain it a little bit, and then off you go, and then enjoy your holiday. Sit on a beach somewhere. Why not?
Has that been helpful for you? Yeah. We're going to have to wrap it up there, I'm afraid. We could literally sit here all day, couldn't we, and talk. And we do have another panel later today. So, yeah, big round of applause. Thank you so much. Take a bow, Dolly. She's been all right.